We have a question from our friend TJ about competing against his teammates in a tournament. So what's going on is he's getting ready for one of the biggest competitions in Canada, looking forward to it, but he's got 2 people in the same division as him from his team. So you're looking at 3 people from the same team, same division. And he says on the day of the competition, it may jump an additional 1 to 2 more people. So he's not, I actually, he didn't say this. I imagine you're not looking forward to that. That's probably where the question came from, right? But he's wondering if I have any experience, tips, insights, stories about competing against teammates. And so TJ, thanks for the question, dude. And again, I imagine that you're asking this question because you're not really looking forward to having to like beat the snot out of your teammates in a tournament. And when you sent the question, I instantly thought about a tournament where I was a new head coach, 2009, and we had a huge turnout for this tournament, and we didn't do a good job of organizing everyone into different divisions. And so it worked out where we had 2 separate divisions with 3 people in it. So the situation this creates is you have one side of the bracket where the person only has to compete against other people from other teams. On the other end of the bracket, you have 2 people that are going to have to knock each other out because they're part of the same team, going to knock each other out of the bracket before the finals. Not the most optimal conditions. And in this tournament in particular, the matches where both of our teammates went against each other, it ended up being their most grueling match. And I think this is because both each other are training partners. You train all the time with each other. You know what you're doing. You know what the other person's trying to do. You probably helped game plan with the other person, right? And then you raise the intensity level up, and it created for a really slow, sort of moving, like slogging matches, just really grueling matches. And afterwards, they were both exhausted, and they weren't able to perform well the rest of the tournament. And then I remember a tournament from when I was a white belt. It was my last white belt tournament. And I cut weight to get down to 199 so I could make the 200-pound cutoff, right? And then me and another person from the team, we kind of decided that that was going to be our weight class. Now, my buddy came in, and he was overweight. And so that put 3 of us in the same division. My coach was like, nope, not happening. He took me, moved me up to the 225-pound weight class. I was not too happy about that decision. I was kind of sour at the time, but it ended up working well because they were able to place in snacks and medals and wins in their divisions, and I was able to win first place in this division without even having to touch one of my teammates. So from a team point standpoint, it worked out great. We got more points as a team, and from a culture standpoint, none of us had to beat the crap out of our teammate and be responsible for them not being able to win some hardware, win some medals, or anything like that. Again, not that everybody's going to be angry about that, but just saying, if you now have a teammate that you're going to associate with this negative thing, just not the most optimal conditions. And it's a waste of team members, to just put them in the same division like that. Now, there is a fun side to this. If you compete with your teammate and you both win and you both close out the bracket, that's fun. This has happened a couple times where, me and a teammate have been competing, and it's so much fun because I'll share this real quick. When you compete, a lot of times when you make it to the finals and you win, there's a mixture of excitement, but also a lot of relief because, when you get ready to compete, there's so much tension built up, right? And then once that tension's gone because you win, you realize it's over, it's just, it feels so good, man, right? And so when you're competing with your teammate and you're both knocking it out, right? You see him on one end of the bracket, he's winning, he makes it to the semifinals, right? And then you're making it to the semifinals, you win your match, and then you're watching him, he wins his match, and then you realize that you're both gonna have to face each other. As soon as he wins your match, it's you're so happy. If it's a teammate you really like, you're just oh man, that's awesome. And then it's like that excitement early because you realize it's just your teammate. You guys won together. That's kind of a fun situation. The last time that I competed against a teammate, last year, Chad and I, if you guys saw that, we closed out a bracket together, and then we did a pro wrestling match because we were both tired. And screw this, we're gonna goof off a little bit. But the last time that I actually had a match against one of my teammates was back in 2013, and it worked out to where basically we show up to the tournament, and it ended up being a black belt round robin. So if you guys aren't familiar with the way a round robin works, you have, however many people, and each person's going to have to face the other, right? So instead of being a bracket, everyone's going to have to face everyone. And during that day, we ended up being the first match, which wasn't, the best situation, but I talked to him, I was like, Brent, do you want to go hard, or do you want to just kind of save our energy? And for me, I kind of wanted to save some of my energy because 2 of the black belts that day had wins against me, so I wanted to be fresh enough for them. He's a gamer, so he's like, let's do it, man. Let's put on a show. Let's go after each other. And so we started rolling with each other. You could feel the tension. You could feel the stiffness, the tightness that comes from that intensity. It ended up being a quick match, and I was happy for that because Brent and I tend to have a sort of tendency to either have these quick matches where we catch each other really fast, or we end up having these back and forth slogs, which wear the hell out. And I was glad it wasn't one of those because I had some energy to go against these other guys. And I remember he won he beat the other 2 black belts, I beat the other 2 black belts. And after the last match where we both realized that we won together as a teammate, right, me and him, we both got up and we hugged, like, we were just like, it was excitement, right? Because you're like, we won together. We got 1st and 2nd place, right? Split the money. Life is good. That was a fun time. And so what I would say to you, TJ, is try to find a way to maybe create that situation where you guys can close out the bracket instead of having to knock your buddies out early. Talk to your coach, maybe see if you guys, maybe you got some guys that are on the lighter end that maybe can cut weight. Maybe you got some guys that are a little bit on the heavier end. Maybe they can jump up a little bit. But see how you guys can spread your teammates out instead of, sort of squandering them in this one division, where basically, you guys could be spread out winning everywhere else. And the last thing that I would say, just a little sort of side note, would be, let's say that you and your buddy end up winning the division. I don't know how this tournament's set up, but let's say that either there's going to be an open division afterwards or there's going to be a whole no-gi division afterwards. Instead of rolling for those medals, and this is what we do at the gym, you may consider just basically saying, hey, well, if we want to roll for them, we'll roll for them in the gym, but we've got future battles ahead. Let's save our energy instead of wasting it, right? Because again, I just said that in most cases, you're going to have tough matches with your training partners, right? If it's the last match of the day, roll, go hard against each other, have a blast. But if you've got future matches ahead of you, it might be a wise idea to save your energy so this way you can go in a little bit more fresh against the future opponents that you're going to have to face later on that day. So TJ, thank you for the question. And guys, if any of you have ever been against your teammates in a competition and you know what that experience is like, share your experiences down in the comments below. I'm sure that I'd like to know them just to sort of see what they are, and I'm sure TJ would enjoy seeing people go through the situation which he might have to go through coming up soon. So TJ, again, thanks for the question, brother. I'll talk to you guys next time.